In the northern reaches of Tanzania, just beyond the bustling tourist trails, lies a quieter world. A world where the rhythms of life are still set by the rising sun, the whisper of the wind, and the call of wild animals. Here, in the dry savanna near Lake Eyasi, lives the Hadzabe, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes on Earth. For thousands of years, they have lived almost entirely off the land. No farms, no permanent houses, no written records. Their history is told through stories, songs, and the passing of skills from one generation to the next. In this journey, we'll step into their world, discover their traditions, and witness how they are adapting to a rapidly changing planet.
The sun spills gold across the Tanzanian plains. In the deep silence of the Hadzabe homeland, shadows stir between the tall grass. Here, men rise with the dawn, their footsteps pressing directly into the soil, barefoot, just as their fathers did, and their fathers before them. To the Hadzabe, the earth is not an obstacle, it is a guide. Bare feet read the land like a story, sensing the softest track of an antelope, the faintest shift of soil where a baboon has leapt. Shoes would only silence this language. Theirs is a dialogue with the ground itself, a bond older than memory. Across their shoulders, some hunters carry the weight of today's conquest, a baboon, limp but honored. For many, the baboon is a formidable prey. It is cunning, quick, and strong. To hunt it is to prove patience, accuracy, and courage. To eat it is to take in that same strength, to share in the vitality of the wild. And so the Hadzabe do not kill for sport, nor for excess, they kill for need, and they honor what they take. The skins they wear tell another story. Woven from baboon and antelope, the hides are more than protection against thorn and chill. They are symbols of survival, of endurance, of the intimate exchange between human and beast. Every pelt is earned, every stitch bound by blood and respect. It is clothing that remembers the chase, the struggle, and the sacrifice that sustains a people untouched by modern clocks. The Hadzabe walk far. They walk under a punishing sun, through thickets where thorns bite deep, across plains that stretch endlessly. But every step has a reason. Distance is not their enemy, it is their teacher. Walking long distances sharpens the body, hardens the spirit, and connects them with the rhythms of nature. Each mile walked barefoot is a return to balance, to simplicity, to the way humans were designed to live. Where others rely on roads, fuel, and machines, the Hadzabe rely on their own endurance, the most ancient resource of all.
The baboon, though wild and fierce, is a gift when caught. Its meat is dense with strength, able to sustain a family when smaller game cannot. Its hunt is a test, and its capture a triumph. And when the fire burns, its flesh is shared equally, each hand reaching not just for food but for tradition. For the Hadzabe, meat is memory. It reminds them of the chase, of laughter, of danger narrowly escaped, and of survival achieved once more. Watch how they move, lean, determined, silent. The jungle knows them, and they know the jungle. They are not intruders here, they are kin. The Hadzabe do not conquer nature. They walk within it. They listen to the calls of birds, to the rustle of monkeys, to the whispers of the wind that tells them where their next step must land. Even the kill is not an end, but part of the unbroken cycle, life feeding life, spirit returning to spirit. As the hunters carry their prize, the weight upon their shoulders is more than meat. It is heritage. It is survival. It is the fire that has burned since the first humans lifted a stone, sharpened a stick, and dared to chase the beasts of the wild. And so, through every hunt, the Hadzabe remind us who we truly are, children of the earth, walkers of great distances, keepers of fire, and storytellers around the flame. In the world beyond these plains, time moves with wires, screens, and machines. But here, in the heart of the jungle, time moves with footsteps, with arrows loosed, with fires kindled, and with meat shared beneath the stars. The Hadzabe endure, not as relics of the past, but as proof that the first way of life still survives, alive and untamed.
The Hadzabe hunters step lightly, their bare feet knowing exactly where to land. Not a twig snaps, not a stone rolls, not a sound escapes them. Their bows rest against their shoulders, carved from resilient wood that has known many hunts, their strings tightened and seasoned by countless hours under the African sun. Quivers heavy with arrows cling to their backs, each arrow tipped with poison carefully prepared from desert rose sap and the juice of toxic beetles, a lethal whisper against the skin of prey. One hunter, older, pauses suddenly. He kneels, pressing his palm against the soil. His eyes narrow as he studies the ground. A footprint. Fresh. The edges of the soil are still moist, the indentation crisp. He brushes his fingers lightly across the mark, feeling the story written there. He leans forward, examining broken blades of grass nearby, a snapped twig, and the faint trace of animal musk lingering in the air. Without a word, he raises 2 fingers and points ahead. The others immediately freeze, their breaths shallow, their bodies melting into the forest shadows. The jungle speaks to them in a language outsiders rarely understand.
The jungle does not yield its treasures easily. For the Hadzabe hunters, every step into its green heart is a gamble between hunger and survival. Their journey stretches endlessly, miles upon miles of thorny acacia, dry grasslands, and scattered rock. The heat presses down like a heavy blanket, yet they move forward, barefoot, unshaken, their souls hardened by generations of walking the land unshod. To the Hadzabe, shoes would only silence the whispers of the earth, the delicate vibrations that tell where an antelope has run, where a warthog has burrowed, where life still lingers. On their shoulders, some carry the weight of freshly killed baboons, tied to poles, their fur still bristling from the chase. Others march on empty-handed, their eyes scanning the distance, their ears tuned to the forest's hidden language. They are not merely hunters, they are readers of the land, listeners of silence, interpreters of shadows. Their skins are clothed not in fabric, but in the hides of animals taken from hunts past, the baboon, the antelope, the kudu. Each hide is more than covering, it is a living reminder of the chase, of triumph, of the bond between man and prey. The skins tell their stories without words. A hunter wrapped in baboon fur walks with the spirit of cunning. A hunter in antelope hide carries the swiftness of the plains. They walk long distances not by choice, but by necessity. For the Hadzabe, hunger is patient but relentless, and prey is never guaranteed. Sometimes the antelope vanishes into the horizon, sometimes arrows miss their mark, and sometimes the land itself grows silent. But still, the hunters walk. For to stop is to surrender, and surrender has no place in their way of life. The baboon, fierce and clever, is not taken lightly. It is a meal of resilience, a source of strength for bodies worn by the endless miles. To feast on baboon is to honor the cunning of the forest, to taste the wild itself.
Patience is their greatest weapon. A Hadzabe hunter does not chase blindly. He becomes part of the land, waiting, listening, calculating. Time is irrelevant here, only instinct matters. They stop again. The youngest hunter, lean and sharp-eyed, crouches to the ground. He studies a patch of disturbed soil, tilts his head, and presses his ear close to the earth. After a moment, he looks up. His lips part, but no words come. Instead, he uses a single gesture, a flat hand sweeping forward, then curling downward. The others understand. The animal is close, resting in shade, unaware that hunters move within reach. Minutes stretch into hours. The men blend into their surroundings, their bodies low, their movements slow as flowing water. A hornbill cackles overhead, breaking the silence, but the hunters do not falter. Their eyes pierce through layers of brush until finally movement. There, between thorn bushes, the subtle shift of a flank, the twitch of an ear. The older hunter raises his bow. The world seems to stop. Even the insects hold their buzzing. His arm draws back slowly, veins tight against his skin, the arrow pulled taut against the bowstring. He exhales, a soft whisper, almost a prayer to the ancestors. The arrow releases, slicing through the humid air with a hiss, striking with silent precision. A cry echoes, the animal leaps, stumbles, then vanishes deeper into the forest. The hunters spring into motion, their strides powerful, swift. They do not shout, do not break their silence. Their chase is measured, relentless, guided by footprints that blur to any other eye but sharpen to theirs like ink on parchment. Through thorn and tall grass, over rock and shallow streams, the hunt continues. The jungle bears witness, watching as ancient survival plays out beneath its green ceiling. Every step is history repeating itself, an unbroken line of knowledge stretching back to the very first hunters of this land.
The sun leans heavy over the savanna, burning gold through the branches. Shadows stretch like long fingers across the earth as the Hadzabe hunters press on. Their bodies, lean and weathered, move silently between the trees. Each step is measured, purposeful, the rhythm of survival. They walk barefoot, their soles hardened by generations of contact with this earth. The ground speaks to them, the heat of the sand, the coolness of shaded soil, the faint vibrations that betray life ahead. Where most of us would feel only pain, they feel information. Bare feet are their compass, their connection, their truth. Over their shoulders sway the spoils of earlier luck, the heavy shape of a baboon, tied to a pole, its lifeless arms swinging with each step. The hunters wear skins of antelope and baboon, garments not of vanity but of memory. Each skin is a story, a hunt won, a season survived, a gift from the wilderness. Their clothing is stitched not with thread, but with meaning. Yet the journey does not end. The baboon is not enough. Their families wait in the village, and hunger does not rest. They walk on, mile after mile, cutting across thorny scrub and silent groves of baobab. Distance, for them, is not a burden. Distance is the measure of a man. To walk far is to honor the hunt. To walk long is to show the patience of those who know that survival is earned, not given. The jungle tests them. The heat presses against their skin, sweat carving lines through the dust on their faces. The air trembles with insects, and in the far distance, a herd of antelope moves like smoke across the plain. The hunters pause, eyes sharp, shoulders still. Their bows rise slowly, arrows whisper against the string. In this silence, life and death hang on the edge of a feather.
The closer they came to the village, the more their pace quickened, anticipation burning quietly in their chests. The baboon was not merely meat, it was sustenance for the children, the mothers, the elders. It was a story to be told by the fire that night, of arrows loosed in quarry lost, of the spirit of the hunt that always offers something to those who do not surrender. At last, the first huts of the village appeared in the distance, framed by the vast Tanzanian sky. The air carried faint voices, laughter, the cries of children at play, the rhythmic pounding of roots being prepared. When the hunters emerged from the tree line, bearing the baboon across their shoulders, the village stirred in recognition. Women rose from their tasks, children ran forward with wide eyes, and the elders nodded knowingly. The hunt had spoken, and the hunters had returned. The pole was lowered gently, the animal placed upon the earth. Fires would soon crackle, knives would be sharpened, and smoke would rise into the dusk. The Hadzabe had once again proven that as long as the forest breathes, they too shall endure. The jungle had denied them the antelope, but it had given them the baboon. And so the story of survival continued, one hunt flowing into the next, as eternal as the land itself. The hunt is a quiet, deliberate affair. Every step has meaning. The men move swiftly and silently through the thick brush, their senses sharpened like the edge of an arrowhead. Where the untrained eye sees only random twigs and dirt, the Hadzabe hunter reads a book written in nature's language. A bent stalk reveals where a gazelle brushed past. A patch of disturbed soil marks the hurried leap of a warthog. They pause often, crouching low, pressing their palms into the earth, feeling its story. They can tell the age of a footprint, the weight of the animal, the direction it traveled, and how fast it was moving, all in a matter of seconds. The forest is alive with clues, and the hunters know how to listen. A rustle far away. The warning cry of a bird. The faint smell of dust stirred up by hooves. Each sign guides them deeper into the wilderness, closer to their prey. The hunt is a quiet, deliberate affair. Every step has meaning. The men move swiftly and silently through the thick brush, their senses sharpened like the edge of an arrowhead. Where the untrained eye sees only random twigs and dirt, the Hadzabe hunter reads a book written in nature's language. A bent stalk reveals where a gazelle brushed past. A patch of disturbed soil marks the hurried leap of a warthog. They pause often, crouching low, pressing their palms into the earth, feeling its story. They can tell the age of a footprint, the weight of the animal, the direction it traveled, and how fast it was moving, all in a matter of seconds. The forest is alive with clues, and the hunters know how to listen. A rustle far away. The warning cry of a bird. The faint smell of dust stirred up by hooves. Each sign guides them deeper into the wilderness, closer to their prey. The hunt is a quiet, deliberate affair. Men move swiftly and silently through the brush, eyes scanning, ears alert. Every leaf, every bent blade of grass, every faint mark on the earth tells a story. A broken twig is a message, a trail of dust is a sign, the faintest rustle of movement could be life itself. They can tell the age of a footprint with a glance. They know if the animal passed this morning, last night, or days ago. They know its speed, its direction, and even how far it may have traveled before stopping to graze. What would be invisible to you or me is as clear as a written book to them. The bows they carry are not just tools, they are extensions of their being. Each arrow, carefully tipped with poison extracted from desert plants, carries the weight of both hope and necessity. Out here, a single mistake means going hungry. A single well-placed shot means a feast.